This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news. The Iranian regime is now openly admitting that it accidentally shot down Ukrainian Airlines passenger flight 752 after days of denying this and suggesting that those who are saying this are Western propagandists. You may recall that 2 days ago I posted this video confirmed Flight 752 shot down by Iran, resulting in collateral damage and the loss of 63 Canadian lives, where I pointed out that Ukrainian Airlines Flight 752 was hit by fire from a Russian-built Tor M1SA-15 surface-to-air missile system operated by the Iranian regime. And they are now openly admitting this. Iran says it shot down Ukrainian plane in a disastrous mistake. They say they unintentionally shot down the Ukrainian airliner, and the president of the Islamic Republic of Iran has chimed in on Twitter offering his deepest condolences. We now have hashtag Iran protests trending on Twitter, with many of the protesters calling for their leaders to quit, expressing rage at their leaders, and calling for the all-out death to liars. We also have Prime Minister Trudeau chiming in on this just less than half an hour ago. He gives an update on the Iran plane crash. So we're going to cover all of that and more in this video, guys. But just before we do, I want to remind you this channel right here is under attack. The mainstream media does not like the fact that I correctly called this 2 days ago before anyone in the mainstream media is doing so, and that's because I am attempting to make the MSM obsolete. I want to do a better job than they are doing, and they don't like that, which is why this channel is under attack and heavily shadow banned right now. So if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information before the mainstream media does, please check the links right here on the screen or in the description below to find out how you can contribute to my efforts to continue to do a better job than the MSM does. All right, so this just out from Reuters. Iran says it shot down Ukrainian plane in a disastrous mistake. Iran said on Saturday its military had shot down a Ukrainian plane, killing all 176 people on board in a disastrous mistake, saying air defenses were fired in error while on alert after Iranian missile strikes on U.S. targets in Iraq. Iran had denied for days after Wednesday's crash that it brought down the plane, although a top Revolutionary Guard commander said on Saturday that he had told authorities about the unintentional missile strike the day that it happened. Foreign governments condemned Iran's actions, with Ukraine demanding compensation and a U.S. official calling the downing reckless, although Britain said that Tehran's admission was an important first step and urged de-escalation in tensions. We also see this from the Wall Street Journal. The plane had approached a sensitive military base, and it was downed due to human error, is what they say. Iran said the Ukrainian airliner that crashed outside of an airport in Tehran, killing all 176 people on board, was shot down unintentionally by its armed forces. Iranian officials had initially denied claims by Western officials that the Boeing 737-800 jet was downed by a missile system fired by Iran, possibly by mistake. The single-aisle jet crashed Wednesday, 4 hours after Iran had launched military strikes against the U.S. and Iraq, in retaliation for the killing of its top general, and the Middle Eastern state was on high alert for a potential U.S. response. The Ukrainian International Airlines plane approached a sensitive military base operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and was downed due to human error, Iran's General Staff of Armed Forces said in a statement on state televised early Saturday local time. And as I said, we had the president of the Islamic State of Republic chiming in. He says, armed forces internal investigation has concluded that regrettably missiles fired due to human error caused the horrific crash of the Ukrainian plane and death of 176 innocent people. Investigations continue to identify and prosecute this great tragedy and unforgivable mistake. He adds the Islamic Republic of Iran deeply regrets this disastrous mistake. My thoughts and prayers go to all the mourning families. I offer my sincere condolences. Well, I'm afraid sincere condolences isn't quite going to cut it. It's not necessarily the American people they have to worry about, the Canadian people that they have to worry about here. but it's their own people who are now going on the attack. As we saw, hashtag Iran protest is erupting. We see, this just posted 39 seconds ago. They're chanting, traitor, you displaced the nation, destroyed our countries, killed and buried thousands of youths, death to you. It goes on and on. We see here people are, openly protesting the Iranian regime, calling for the death of their leaders. Iranian regime will soon be overthrown by the Iranian people. Massive protests taking place. Look at this. Today, hashtag Iran protest blew the empty balloon of Qasem Soleimani's fourth funeral. You got universities gathering together to protest this. So the people of Iran are absolutely pissed, and rightly so. This is a mistake of epic proportions that will not go unnoticed or be forgotten. Prime Minister of Canada has chimed in on this, not really saying a whole heck of a lot that he was a couple of days ago, pretty much suggesting that they still want to move towards a thorough investigation, and they're going to be sending their Canadians in to do so. Let's hear a little bit of what he just said just a little over half an hour ago.
President Rouhani's response to me was a commitment to collaborate, to give closure to the victims, de-escalate tensions in the region, and continue this dialogue. Our focus remains accountability, transparency, and justice for the families and loved ones of the victims.
So, at this stage in the game, he is essentially just calling for accountability, which, the Iranians fessed up to this, perhaps knowing that with an international investigation looming, they might as well just confess and come clean straight up before investigators discover it on their own, which they inevitably will. But as I said, guys, the Iranian people right now are absolutely infuriated about this, and people in America too are getting this one completely wrong. They seem to have forgotten, that this actually has happened once before. They continuously, a lot of people pin the blame on Donald Trump for this, or the American regime in the first place for targeting Soleimani, the terrorist Soleimani, as some say in Iran, it was actually a leader fighting against ISIS. It's a very contentious issue, but in digging into this a little bit, I discovered this article from 1988, guys, where a U.S. warship downed an Iranian passenger jet, and we see the exact same scenario has once unfolded, but the tables were completely 180 flipped. It was the Americans who accidentally did this to the Iranians. Look at this. In the Persian Gulf, U.S. Navy cruiser Vincennes shoots down an Iranian passenger jet that it mistakes for a hostile Iranian fighter aircraft. 2 missiles were fired from the American warship. The aircraft was hit, and all 290 people aboard were killed. The attack came near the end of the Iran-Iraq war, when U.S. vessels were in the Gulf defending Kuwaiti oil tankers. Minutes before Iran Air Flight 655 was shot down, the Vincennes had engaged Iranian gunboats that shot at its helicopter. This is all sounding very, very familiar, isn't it? Iran called the downing of the aircraft a barbaric massacre, but U.S. officials defended the actions, claiming that the aircraft was outside the commercial jet flight corridor, flying at only 7,800 feet, and was on a descent toward the Vincennes. However, 1 month later, U.S. authorities acknowledged that the Airbus was in the commercial flight corridor, flying at 12,000 feet and not descending. The U.S. Navy report blamed crew error caused by psychological stress on the men who were in combat for the first time. In 1996, the U.S. agreed to pay $62 million in damages to the families of the Iranians killed in the attack. So before these Americans start pointing the finger, they need to understand they have actually done something very, very similar, to the point of lying about it, and then 1 month later coming clean, acknowledging that, yes, this was indeed a mistake. chalked up to collateral damage. Well, now we have the Iranians admitting their mistake as well. It didn't take a month for them to admit their mistake. It took just a few days on pressure from the international community, who says they're going to do a thorough investigation. So I just wanted to bring this one to your attention today, guys. We've seen this before coming at the hands of the Americans. Now it's a disastrous mistake from the Iranians. The Iranian people are livid about this. So I don't think Iran has to worry necessarily about how Canada's going to respond or how America's going to respond. But right now they have to deal with their own people, and rightly so. This was a major tragedy that should have never happened in the first place, guys. This is why, as I said in my video 2 days ago, confirmed Flight 75 shot 2 by Iran, I ended that by saying we have no business meddling in the affairs of the people in the Middle East, and we have to be aware of the possibility that they will switch this up and say we're in the need of entering for a humanitarian mission. It's no longer about, going after terrorists. We now have to go after the regime because they're incompetent of running their government. Do not believe it, guys. Do not take it from the mainstream media. You can't believe anything they are saying. War has been on the table for Iran for decades now, and just because tensions have slightly de-escalated over the last few days, it doesn't mean this isn't going to continue. So, wanted to bring it to your attention today, guys. I hate to say that I was correct, before the MSM, but it's true. I called it correctly, and this is something they certainly do not like. But again, it is now out in the open, fully admitted by the Iranians that this was a disastrous mistake that can be chalked up to collateral damage, as they call it. Guys, please share this video. Let people know that, look, the MSM is failing at their job here, and like I said, we correctly called this a few days before the Iranians openly admitted it. I had a lot of people attacking me for that, but my research is solid. I did my due diligence, and here we are 2 days later with the Iranians indeed admitting that this did happen. So guys, I want to encourage you to support this channel. If you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe on us here on YouTube, and I want to let you know we're on the chopping block. So if by tomorrow this channel is deleted because of the revelations that it continues to produce, we will be on other platforms like BitChute, like DTube, like Minds, like Float.app, like PocketNet.app. There are a lot of really good decentralized alternative platforms that will allow this type of information to come out without being censored, such as platforms like YouTube and Google will inevitably do when I continue to call it out for what it is before the mainstream media does. So just something I wanted to bring to your attention today, guys. Very important developments. Once again, if you appreciate my efforts here to bring you this information, please click the thumbs up button first and foremost. Share this video. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the greater implications of this, where you see this moving forward when it comes to Iranian and U.S. relations and relations with Canada and Iran moving forward. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to check the links on the screen or in the description below to find out how you can financially support this channel moving forward, as they are coming after me on the chopping block. They want to cut me off, but with your support, it won't matter. So that's all for today, guys. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.